get a pack of Phillies.
You speak English, bitch?
Watch your mouth.
The fuck you say? How the fuck that feel?
Familiar.
This is my home. These streets raised me.
Might get a little crazy out there today.
Media outlets from around the world await a verdict in the Rodney King beating.
Maybe I can bring my son back up here.
All right, run it for me. Catalytic converters. They need platinum. How much they got in there?
10 million.
You need a miracle to pull this off.
The jury in the Rodney King trial.
A stunning verdict.
The 4 police officers were found not guilty.
You watching the news?
No one minding the store.
This is our window.
You know what scares me? I don't want you to grow up to be like me. It's wild out there to be more safe here.
You're at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Can't control us. You don't hold us.
Where's my son?
This is not gonna end well for you.
It's not going well for you.
Watch me as I
I'm gonna obliterate your whole fucking family.
Give me my son.
And if I don't,
Then we got a problem, homie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRW, where nerds rule the world. I'm Heather Hurt. That's Kuya, and we're here to talk about the trailer you just watched for 1992, Ray Liotta's final film, which hurt a little bit when we watched. I won't deny, but at the same time, we'll get to it. I'm kind of also a little bit happy that Cocaine Bear will be the one he's remembered for.
Probably
Anyway,
the bigger film he'll be remembered for as the last film.
We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. But let's start with the most important things that we do here. We talk about the film real quick. We're going to try and do as little spoilers as possible because the movie is actually coming out at the end of this week, August 23rd, 29th. August 29th.
Yeah.
August 29th.
August 30th on IMDb, but there's been different dates floated.
Yeah. The movie's been pushed a couple times, unfortunately, but it has, if you've seen it on one of the stories, it has run its time on film festival circuit. So some of you might have seen it already. It is what it is, but we were pretty lucky to see it no matter what. And I was pretty lucky to talk to people like the director, Ariel Vroman, his review, along with I also got to talk to Dylan Arnold, who plays Dennis. This gentleman right here, Ray Liotta's character, Lowell's youngest son. Scott Eastwood played Rigging Bigby, Lowell's older son. Tyrese Gibson, who played Mercer, the main character, who you see right next to Kuya. Oleg Tokhtarov, who plays Titus. Anthony Molinari, who is the photographer we see. The writing credits include Sasha Penn, Ariel Vroman, and there's just a lot of people. This movie, I said this with other films lately, it feels like we're getting a lot of films that feel like they're in really big places, but it's a small cast, it's a small area, it's a small space. But no matter how small or big it is, it takes a village to make a film. And this was an incredible visual film. It takes place at a very important time in California's history. The movie 1992, the reason for that date is it takes place, everything in the film takes place right before or during the LA riots in 92 that took place following the innocent verdicts or the release verdicts of the police who absolutely, I'm not going to get too much into it or we might get suspended on this. The cops who got unjust sentences for what happened to Rodney King. They deserved far more than the free hand that they were given to them. So this is a fictional story that happens. Mercer is a ex-con who has been released. He's just trying to live a good life. He's trying to take care of his son, who's played by Christopher Emmanuel, who plays Antoine. So I'm sorry, I did not say his name before. Wonderful young actor, but he's just trying to get his son to a good place. So he's trying to be a good employee. He works at a metalworks workshop. And that is the same place that Lowell and his family decide to loot and rob. They're taking advantage of the looting situation in South Central, and they take to rob this incredible metalworks facility. Mercer accidentally stumbles upon it while he's taking his son to be safe during these riots. And then all hell breaks loose in this facility. That's all I really want to give right now. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more, but also don't want to jump into spoilers at this time. Kuya P, initial thoughts about this movie?
The concept, the idea to have a heist film felt like a little, like a heist film, Ocean's 11 type thing during the Rodney King verdicts. This unjust crime that set off the LA riots. Was very intriguing to mix all of that. So I was all in. I was very curious. Also Tyrese, he's had some good films and some bad films, and curious to see what he was going to do with this material. And I was very intrigued by this film. So I was definitely ready and willing to check this one out when it came our way.
Absolutely. And one of the great things about it that really pulled me in, and I think Dylan Arnold said it to me, this felt like it looks like a very Ray Liotta movie.
And Ray Liotta, come on now. Yes.
Just to jump into it, Ray Liotta is an incredibly Ray Liotta character, like 100% on A game for himself in this movie. So pulling him in on a heist movie, and then you have the reality of what was going on. When I was talking to Ariel Roman, he mentioned that he actually used Tyrese Gibson's actual experiences. He has admitted to looting. He was in the streets looting, taking advantage of the situation while also passionately protesting the situation, the actual situation at hand. So Roman was really leaning on Gibson during this time to make this feel as accurate as possible. So getting that feeling was really cool for this movie, I think.
I also want to shout out Scott Eastwood too. I forgot about him as well.
Yes.
I thought this had a great cast.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had a great cast. If anything, the look and feel was good, but if we get in if we're getting now into the review, the story then kind of falls apart. It had a great intention, but the glue didn't stick all the way. And I needed more action. It kind of sells itself to be an action film thriller, but just some of the character choices again make dumb decisions.
Yeah.
And I needed more.
See, I think that's where it's the place where it actually broke down on. I mean, you just said it broke down, but it needed to decide which way it was going. Was it an action film or was it a drama? Even though the trailer makes it look like it's an action film, when you go into this movie, you see Tyrese Gibson giving a very authentic, passionate job for this role, and it makes it feel like it's supposed to be a drama. It needed to pick one lane. It shouldn't have just flown right between the two.
Like if this had been the rights, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I was going to add to that, but I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies.
No, good.
Because they set this they have this high set during such a significant event. Like, how are you going to tie that more into I expected more of a tie-in to that, even though I knew that you're not going to directly tie into that, or else you're rewriting history, right? But I would just expecting more or something profound to be spoken with the material, and they didn't do that. And so, like, you're 100% right, Heather. Are we going to be more drama or more action or thriller? What are we doing here? And they didn't succeed in that.
Yeah, there were elements of everything, but it didn't have a completionist it just wasn't completionist. There were moments like this scene behind me was actually incredibly heartwarming and touching. Dylan Arnold's character is very, very passionate. He's innocent, and carefree, and yet he's doing this big job for his father, their last job, so to speak. And he's doing it, he loves his brother, he does this, and then you have that scene, and I brought this up in the interview with Roman, is that you have that scene where they get pulled over by the cop, and you see Tyrese's character get very, very personal, and he's like, you see that protectiveness of his son, you see what a man of color has to deal with even today. But then you have the second half of this film that is entirely action, and you're like, it actually made the movie feel longer than it was. And we're action people. We love action movies.
Yeah.
And adding an element of action to a movie that didn't need it, or the opposite, making an action film more drama, actually caused the movie to feel kind of stretched and long.
Yeah, I agree. The ingredients were there, but like if they're baking the cake came out flat. Flat. Like I love the visuals of the film. I love the intention. Like, the scene you spoke of, the cast. Again, I thought a great premise out the rip, but it just doesn't execute, and it's that 3/4, halfway through the film that it just all falls apart. I'm like, that was disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it was disappointing.
I think that really shows how invested we were in the original concept, though. We aren't saying that this is a bad film. We're saying we're kind of disappointed in what we saw, because it could have been better. Like there were options. There was options.
Yeah. So I don't know what else to add to it. I want to kind of give some praise to it. The casting was great. I think the scenario, the setup was all there. The way it was shot, to Ariel's credit, but I'm gonna blame the script writer, the screenplay. Did Ariel have a hand in the screenplay?
He did. Sasha Penn, and at the same time, Sasha Penn had a lot of great. The idea was there, but it almost felt like it was incomplete. So but at the same time, this movie has been on circuit since 2022. So I feel like I watched this film last year, like when they first came out to talk to me about it, and it doesn't execute. Do we say don't watch it? No, absolutely not. Especially if you're a fan of any of the actors, take a jump in. You might completely disagree with us. Is this a much better film than what we saw? Tell us, comment, tell us all those things. Send us messages on the socials. Give us feedback. We want to hear that. Maybe we missed something. Maybe we need to watch it again. So give us your thoughts, subscribe, do all the things down below, but definitely tell us what you think when you see this movie. We want to know your opinion.
And if anything, if it makes people look into the verdict,
absolutely
get world history going on. 92, so important. What happened? What occurred? I actually was curious if like an actual heist happened back then.
No, heist did happen. That was it.
There was a lot of things happening.
There was a lot of things happening. I mean, if you want to, Tyrese Gibson has actually talked about these situations. He's talked about his past, his history. So if you have never heard it, go check up on what he says. He's talked about things like this. I mean, it's really cool that this was very personal for him. Like, there's definitely a lot of cool elements to this movie. So subscribe, share, all those things. We'll be back with you with more reviews soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Peace.